Hi everyone! In this video, we are going to look at two important reading skills: guessing vocabulary and identifying parts of speech. Guessing vocabulary is an important skill which helps you understand texts better and increase reading speed. So, why do we guess vocabulary? And how does it help us? First of all, guessing vocabulary enables you to understand unknown vocabulary, and it helps you understand the text better. Besides, guessing vocabulary helps you decide what to do. Will you try to guess the unknown word? Will you ignore it? Is the vocabulary item necessary to understand the paragraph? In every text, there are various clues which give you the meanings of the unknown words, and you can use these small pieces of information to make good guesses. Let's take a look at these clues.
Sometimes texts help you. For example, they can give the meanings of the words in commas, between two commas actually,
Between brackets or parentheses,
and between two dashes. Take a look. There are about 28,000 species, and then you have kinds of butterflies all over the world. Species means kinds. The caterpillar molts, and then loses its old skin many times as it grows. Our clue is the brackets. Molt means lose the old skin. You can also make use of and, or, but. You can make use of in other words, that is, or again, i.e., which means that is. You can make use of for example, or such as, and like. All of these will help you understand the word that you don't know. And or but, with these you will make logical deductions. You will understand from logic. In other words, that is, i.e., already mean that they are going to give you the explanation of that word. And for example, such as like means they will give you examples, so it will be easier for you to understand. So let's take a look. When butterflies age or get old, the color of their wings fades. Look at the or get old here. Now, this doesn't mean that there is an alternative here, okay? This means that because it is between two commas and you have or get old, getting old and age mean the same thing, okay? So, because it is between two commas, that's important. Because it is between two commas and there is an or, this or means I am giving you the same meaning of this word, which is age, and it means get old. How about the next one? The color of their wings fades. What does fade mean? In other words, the wings lose their color and become pale. The color is already here. So fade must mean lose it, right? Become pale. Fade means to lose color and become pale. Let's take a look at IE. The largest butterfly in the world lives in New Guinea, and its wingspan, and then there's the explanation here. That is, the distance between the two ends of the wings is 30 centimeters. So wingspan means the distance between the two ends of the wings. Some butterflies, such as the coppers and small blues, live for only a few days. Take a look at this. There is coppers and small blues. Maybe you don't know the meaning, but it says some butterflies, such as coppers and small blues. This means that these are types of butterflies. They are examples of butterflies that live only for a few days. The grammar can help you too. Of course, if you have is, X is Y, A is B, or again, X is called Y, A is called B. That means I am talking about the same things. Most butterflies live on nectar. Nectar is the sweet liquid in plant flowers. Of course, this word means this explanation over here. Nectar is the sweet liquid in plant flowers. Take a look at this. Butterflies undergo a complete change during their life. This change is called
metamorphosis.
Now, this word is the same as the change. What is this change? A complete change during their life. You can add that, or you may not want to add that. So,
metamorphosis
means a complete change. Sometimes you can also understand the meaning of a word from the whole context. That means the reading or the paragraph in general will give you the meaning of the word. Let's look at that. Many butterflies migrate. Now this is a verb, okay? They migrate to warm areas because they cannot live in adverse environmental conditions such as cold weather. Most butterflies travel only short distances, but a few migrate thousands of miles to find better conditions to live. Now let's take a look at this. Now, many butterflies do something to warm areas. This must be about moving, right? About traveling, because they do migrate, they do this to warm areas. Why do they do it to warm areas? Because they cannot live in adverse environmental conditions. Now, adverse must be a negative word because they cannot live in those conditions. And then there is an example such as cold weather. So adverse actually means bad, right? Negative, bad. It is the opposite of good weather. So it's cold weather. An example is cold weather. Adverse means bad, bad environmental or negative environmental conditions. Now, let's try to understand what migrate means. Now, butterflies cannot live in bad weather, right? They cannot live in bad environmental conditions, so they do something. They migrate. Most butterflies travel only a short distance, but a few migrate, again, thousands of miles. Then this means migrate must mean, right, traveling, because most of them travel short distances, a few of them migrate thousands of miles. So migrate means to travel to a different place because you cannot live in your own habitat, in the place that you are living,
due to those conditions.
So it means to travel. Let's take a look at the word hatch. In the larva state, and you know this word from your biology lessons, in the larva state, the butterfly hatches from an egg. When it comes out of the egg, it starts eating leaves or flowers. Take a look now. First of all, the butterfly hatches from an egg. Again, it's a movement and it is from the egg. And then in the second sentence, it says when it comes out of the egg. So hatch from must mean come out of something. To hatch from an egg means to come out of an egg. Let's take a look at opposites. Butterflies can live in all types of environments, hot and cold, opposites. Let's skip this one. Sea level, high in the mountains, these are also opposites, right? Sea level is 0, high in the mountains is high. So hot, cold, sea level, high, dry, moist. Moist must mean the opposite of dry. And it does mean the opposite of dry. Moist actually means wet. Sometimes grammar will help you. Your grammar knowledge will help you. Take a look at this. Butterflies are very good flyers. Now, just like the word teach can become teacher, farm can become farmer, fly can become flyer. This actually means something that flies, right? So butterflies are very good flyers. But different kinds have different flying speeds. The fastest one can fly at 30 miles per hour. Slow ones fly 5 miles per hour. Now I know from my grammar that flyer might come from fly, but now I am sure that it's about fly because in the reading it is repeated many times. So flyer should mean something that flies. Okay, now you practice the skill on your own. Female pandas are called sows and males are called boars. Let's take a look at these two words. Look at our clue here. Are called. So obviously sows are female pandas and boars are male pandas. Let's take a look at the next question. Giant pandas are white and black. Giant pandas are white with black patches around their eyes, ears, shoulders, chest, legs, and so on. This black and white coloring may camouflage or hide the panda in the snowy, rocky environment. Now take a look here. Camouflage is explained with an or between two commas. So our clue is or, and camouflage means to hide. Let's write that. Question 3. The largest pandas grow to be about 250 pounds. And then we have in brackets 115 kilos, about the weight of a large adult human. Now, the pound weight system is a system that is not used in Turkey, but it is a system to weigh something, right? So instead of saying 115 kilos, you can say 250 pounds. So our clue is the brackets, and 250 pounds equals to 115 kilos. Let's write that. Question 4. Giant pandas eat bamboo, but today the number of bamboo forests is not enough for the pandas. This causes starvation among giant panda population. Now take a look at this. In other words, today pandas have very little or no food. So let's try to understand what the text is saying. They eat bamboo, but because bamboo forests is not enough, they obviously, that's what we understand, they cannot find enough bamboo. This causes starvation among giant panda populations. This must be a negative word. In other words, today pandas have very little or no food. Starvation is a noun. Our clue is in other words. And the explanation is have very little or no food. But this is a noun, so we have to write having very little or no food. The clue is, in other words, starvation is the state of having very little or no food. Okay. Question 5. Because pandas spend most of their time eating tough bamboo, strong teeth and jaws are very important to a panda's survival. That is, they need them to continue to live. Take a look at this. Something are very important. That is, very important to a panda, right? That is, the panda, needs them, strong teeth and jaws, for survival. And survival means, in this case, to continue to live, right? Survival is the ability to continue to live. And our clue is that is. Giant pandas have large molars because they use these flat teeth to break their food into small pieces. This time, you see in the answer in the question part, they have already given you the next sentence. But even if they didn't, they use these flat teeth. So this must refer to something. And they break into small pieces with this. So, and it is given here. Molars should be flat teeth, right? So, let's write the answers here. Okay, let's go on. Question 6. The habitat of giant pandas, i.e. the natural environment they live in, and then there's a comma, is cool, wet, cloudy mountain forest land where bamboo grows. First of all, this is very easy. Habitat, i.e. habitat means the natural environment they live in. Okay, or pandas live in, that would be better. So the first clue is i.e. the habitat of an animal is the natural environment they live in, because here it's a general thing. Today, giant pandas live in evergreen temperate forests between 900 and 3200 meters in altitude. In the past, pandas lived at lower altitudes, but farming and land development have pushed the pandas high into the mountains. Now, take a look at this. Giant pandas live at 900 to 3200 meters in altitude. They used to live in lower altitudes, but then because of farming and land development, they have been pushed to higher in the mountains. So altitude must be the height from sea level, right? So the height above sea level. What we're going to write there is going to be above sea level. Okay, let's go on. So I've chosen above here. Giant pandas are mostly solitary animals, so it's an adjective. Solitary means something, but it also needs to be an adjective. They spend most of their lives alone. Take a look. Giant pandas are mostly solitary animals. They spend most of their lives alone. Which adjective here might mean solitary? We only have actually one adjective, and it is alone. Can we say giant pandas are mostly alone animals? We don't say it that way. We say lonely animals, but that is what it means in general. So how can I put it here? The clue is actually how the sentence goes. It's the context. If an animal is solitary, it lives alone. It is alone, right? Let's take a look at the next question. The giant panda's lifespan in the wild has not been accurately documented. Okay, its lifespan has not been accurately documented, so we don't know about its lifespan. But let's be a little wise here. What can this word mean? Well, it's got to be something about the life of the panda, right? Let's read on. But Chinese scientists report that some pandas in zoos have lived to be 35 years old. Okay, so this word must be about the panda's life. Sing Sing, who lives in the natural zoo, turned 30 in 2000. Most animals live longer in captivity than in the wild. So this text generally is about the life of how long the life of a panda is, the life of pandas. So the clue is the text, right? It's given in the text, the context. Lifespan most probably means not the place, but the amount of time that an animal lives. Question 9. Panda cubs are small, white, blind, furless and helpless at birth. Like newborn human babies, panda cubs cry when they are hungry or need their mother. Come on, what is a panda cub? What can it be? It's like newborn human babies, and it cries when it's hungry, when it needs its mother. So, right? The clue is like, because we can take it out from here, and a cub is a baby panda. Question 10. Just like marsupials, such as kangaroos, giant panda cubs are very small when they are born. Look at this. Just like, exactly like, okay, marsupials such as kangaroos. So kangaroos should be a type of marsupial. The clue is such as, a kangaroo is an example of a marsupial. By the way, a marsupial is just like a kangaroo, an animal that has a little pouch, a bag-like part in front of their bodies. Inside it, they put their babies. Okay, imagine a kangaroo. Last question. Humans are the giant panda's greatest enemy. Poachers still hunt giant pandas for their fur, which they sell. Also, leopards sometimes kill cubs. Take a look at this. Humans are an enemy of the giant panda and they hunt giant pandas. So, The clue is our verb, actually. A poacher, then, is it a leopard? Do we use hunt for leopards? And then, can leopards actually sell the fur? That's impossible. So a poacher should be a hunter human being, right? A poacher is a hunter. And it's a human being, not a leopard. So that must be B. Okay, in the final part of our video, we will take a look at parts of speech. Very generally, a part of speech is to what group a vocabulary item belongs to. It can be a noun, it can be a verb, adjective, adverb. All of these are part of speech. Now, why is this important? Why do you need to know the part of speech of something? Because it will help you, one, be able to understand what that unknown word is in a text, but also when you are writing, it will help you write grammatically better, grammatically accurate sentences. So it's very important to have the knowledge of parts of speech. Let's take a look. How can we identify the parts of speech of something? I will give you some clues. Now, when you are doing exercises like, fill in the blanks with one word, or sometimes in your reading quizzes, you have a reading and then you summarize it, but you have to use 2 or 3 words maximum. There, you need to take a look at the given sentence and then the blank. And you need to understand, what does this blank need in order to be grammatically correct? There, you need your knowledge of what is necessary for that blank. My daughter has a parrot as a pet. The talkative bird keeps repeating what we say all day long. Sometimes it really makes me mad. I find myself shouting furiously, "Don't parrot everything I say." Now let's take a look. My daughter has something, right? She needs to have something. So parrot is a something. And because it's a something, it is actually a noun. There is another clue for this thing. There's an a here. And a, here there can be an adjective, of course. It can be a big parrot, it can be a small parrot. But after an a, you may or may not have an adjective, but you will definitely have a noun, okay? So parrot is a noun. Similarly, a pet is also a noun. The talkative bird keeps repeating what we say all day long. Now, the bird, of course, is the parrot, right? So this must be an adjective, the something bird. Like the talkative bird is like the hardworking student, right? So the tall girl. So basically, that is an adjective because there's a noun here and it is talking about what kind of a noun it is. And then, look, it makes me mad, right? I feel angry and I find myself shouting furiously. Now, furiously answers the question, how? How do you shout? I shout furiously, angrily, okay? Of course, there's a ly at the end, so that helps us to identify it as an adverb. It doesn't always happen though. Just because a word has ly at the end doesn't mean that it is an adverb, but it generally is. Early, for example, can be an adjective, okay? Just because there's an ly at the end doesn't mean it has to be an adverb. But generally, it is an adverb. So, how do you shout? How does this person shout? She or he shouts furiously, angrily. It gives the manner of the verb. So it is talking about the verb. That means it is an adverb. Now take a look here. Parrot, we said it's a noun, right? But how about here? Don't parrot everything I say. If you are going to write a sentence like this, normally what do you put after the don't? You put a verb, right? Don't do this. Don't go there. Don't talk to me. All right? So you have a verb. Parrot here is actually a verb. The first one is a noun and it is talking about this type of bird. But the second one is a verb. It is talking about, it actually means repeating what somebody says, like a parrot. So the second one is repeat. Don't repeat everything I say, all right? So be careful. The same word can belong to two different groups of part of speech.
Now it is your turn. Pause the video and read the following passage. Identify the parts of speech of the words written in bold and write them in the blanks. Now you can check your answers. That's all for today's lesson. Don't forget to study the vocabulary cards and do the readings on OptiClass. Bye!